Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Wednesday, only here on Oldies and More Radio. Also want to welcome you, those of you tuned in live on YouTube. Welcome to my all 60s edition. We feature soul here. If I can find my first page. We feature soul here on the Wednesday night show. So welcome, folks. Hopefully I won't be as discombobulated as I was last Wednesday evening. But welcome to the program. Hopefully you had a good day. Today was kind of like humid today. I don't like the humidity, but and the rain and whatnot. But anyway, sit back for the next 3 hours. Got some cool 45's out of my collection. Found a lot of your requests for tonight. But we opened up actually with a request for a listener, Adrian Viterbo, listening in Mexico, and he wanted to hear this group from San Gabriel, California, first recording for Eddie Davis's Pharaoh label. The A side of this 45, the hit side, was the group's debut single. It was a cover of the Don and Dewey tune Farmer John. We heard the B side, though. Great sax there. I think, Lenny, you mentioned it. That's Duffy's Blues from May 1964, and that would get picked up by Warner Brothers Records for national distribution. But for the flip side there, Farmer John. And it featured the two saxophonist players on that, Philip Ruiz and Joe Urza. May 1964. That's for Adrian in our YouTube chat room. The premieres on Warner Brothers with Duffy Blues. Well, enough of my babbling here. Got some cool records for tonight. Let's open up the vocal portion here as we go to Detroit, Michigan. This group recorded for a number of labels. Their debut single came out in June of 1964 on the Gigi label. I have that first one. It's by Tom Storm and the Peps, but their very next release on Gigi, they were just known as the Peps. And in 65, they did two singles on D-Town Records, and then they followed it up with this single in 1966 on the Wheelsville label. Now, the side I'm playing was re-released in March of 67 on We 3. It first came out on Wheelsville, but I have it on We 3. By that time, the group was known as the Fabulous Peps. The tune written by the lead singer of the group, his name is Ronnie Abner. We open up the vocal portion here from March 1967 on We 3. That's how I have it. The Fabulous Peps with These Eyes.
Before I get over you, but if it takes me a million years, I know that's what I got to do. You've been treating me wrong, much, much too long, but I might brand me down, keep me from getting me down. These are, hey baby, I'm gonna cry. Then baby, just watch my eye. Tears will fall down like rain, and my misery has got to end. 'Cause I found you, brand new, make my troubles end. These are, hey baby, I'm gonna cry. Yes I am now. I'm gonna cry until I
I guess that's going to start Tony Crosby in the UK for ripping up his rug there. Those are the Fabulous Peps. Originally came out on the Wheelsville label. I have it on We 3 Records, March 1967. That's Ronnie Abner on lead. With These Eyes. I should play With These Hands next by The Wonders. No, I won't do that. Let's continue here. And here's a gal from Miami, Florida. She recorded 2 for Neil Sonberg's Nebler label. This is the A-side of her first release, her first of 2 on the Nelber label. Tune written by Gil Askey. Let's go back to March of 1964. Give a listen to Helen Glover. Helen Glover on the Nelber label, the first of 2. It's called Just Like That.
Baby, on the way, I saw this guy at the corner store. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him, just like that. Oh yeah, just like that. I looked at him just a little longer, and my love grew a little stronger for this guy. I didn't even know this guy at the corner store. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him, just like that. Oh yeah, just like that. I never knew him before. I walked through the door of the corner store, and yet it seemed that he was the guy. Looking out so fine, I fell in love right then. I didn't have to let my eyes. I looked at him just a little longer, and my love grew a little stronger for this guy. I didn't even know this guy at the corner store. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him, just like that. Oh yeah, just like that. So I'll be on my merry way, and hope I meet him again someday. I love a guy, I don't even know that guy at the corner store. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him, just like that. You better believe it, just like that. I'm telling you, brother, just like that. Oh yeah, just like that.
March 1964 release there, Helen Glover. Helen Glover. I wonder if it's related to any of the other Glovers. I don't know, but she's out of Miami, Florida. It's on the Nelber label. Just Like That is the name of the tune, her first of 2 on that label. Let's go to Philadelphia now. This group I often play on my Saturday night Vinyl Treasure show, formed back in 1953. The lead singer named Arthur Lee Andrews. Now, their debut single came out on the Rainbow label back in April of 1954, Maybe You'll Be There, a tune that I have played on the program. I have it on red vinyl. I actually have 2 copies of that 45. But they had releases in the late 1960s. Now, here's one they do. On RCA, the tune co-written by the lead singer Lee Andrews. This is arranged by Jimmy the Whiz Wisner. Let's go to September of 1966 for Lee Andrews and the Hearts on RCA Records. The song is called Quiet as It's Kept.
As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you.
Restless nights have fallen over my head, and you never knew, 'cause nothing, baby, nothing was said. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you. As I sat there thinking, watching night lights blinking, no one heard me crying in the night, baby. You never saw me standing there with love in my eyes, and you never looked my way, baby, you walked on by. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you. As quiet as it's kept, I was the one who wept over you.
That's a September 1966 release for Lee Andrews and the Hearts on the RCA record label. That one arranged by Jimmy the Whiz Wisner. Quiet as It's Kept is the name of that tune. If you're new to the program here on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel there. Just click the bell to get notifications. We're also broadcasting live on Oldies and More Radio. Folks, I have not got into that chat room yet. I will be in there, Santi, as a Miami Santi, just in a minute. But let's continue now. Now, on last week's All 60s show, I featured this girl group out of Waco, Texas, a trio that included Paula Hardin, Samantha Harris, and lead singer Annie Johnson Alexander. Featured their record on the Toy label, the song called The Reason Why, but that was the intended B-side. This is the A-side of the 45. And it's a cover that was first done by an Italian singer back in 1956, Flo Sandin. But the first U.S. release of this, I think, was done in 1957. Della Reese did it for RCA Records. Let's give a listen to the Dolls version with Annie Johnson Alexander on lead. This charted number 37 on KONO in San Antonio, Texas, from February 66. These are the Dolls on Toy Records with their rendition of the tune, And That Reminds Me. Those are the Dolls out of Waco, Texas. They performed this on the Big Beat show, I think, that down south with, what was the guy's name? Something Haas, I think. But they performed both sides of that record, originally released on the Toy label. You can pick it up it was also on Loma Records. They picked it up for national distribution. Toy Records, the first, the Dolls rendition of And That Reminds Me from February 1966. Well, let's go back to Detroit now, as this group first recording for the Detroit-based Dynamics label beginning back in 1967. They would have 3 releases on the label, but their third single would get picked up by Westbound Records, and that's how I have it on Westbound. I have one of their other 2, or I have 2 of them on the Dynamic label, that black label, but it features Billy George Jones on lead. This charted number 39 on the Billboard R&B chart, but it was a big number 1 record on WJLB and WCHS in Detroit, Michigan. Also number 1 in St. Louis on KATZ. Let's go to December of 1968 for the Superlatives. The Superlatives on Westbound Records. That's how I have it. It's called I Don't Know How, parentheses, to Say I Love You. Then they close parentheses. Then they say, Don't Walk Away. Here you go, the Superlatives. There you go. Those are the Superlatives. Superlatives originally came out on Dynamics Records. I have it on Westbound. That was a number 1 record in Detroit and also St. Louis, December 68. Song entitled, I Don't Know How to Say I Love You, Don't Walk Away. As we continue here, and here's a record that is in demand. I think it is. Tony Crosby, you can verify. Is this an in-demand Northern Soul 45s? Lots of these records that I purchased when I used to buy Big Group Harmony records, a lot of the dealers, they said, Johnny, you want some Soul 45s? This was, I guess, before the phenomena or the big phenomena, or they didn't know. And they're between $1 and $5. I would pick them up. Or sometimes I'd buy big batches of them not that I had... Well, when I was much younger and I had no money, I used to have to buy big boxes of 45s in bulk. But then when I started working, then of course the prices went up. But I think this is an expensive one. But in 1965, her debut single came out on the Blue Rock label. She was known as Janine Henry on that tune called Baby Boy, but her real name is Andrea Janine Henry. In 1968, she had 145 on the MGM label as Andrea Henry. This one produced by Herman Griffin. And let's give it a spin here. This is really the intended B-side from January 68. Andrea Henry on MGM. It's called I Need You Like a Baby. There you go. That one there. That one there. You can't go wrong for a buck on that record. You really can't. Andrea Henry there, January 68 release on the MGM record label, I Need You Like a Baby. I'm just saying that because I was running labels, thousands and thousands of labels, so I would get all these guys calling me up, Joel Scherzer, Mike DeMersion, Chris Ciccona. They'd be calling me up, Johnny, do you need this number and that number? And they would mail them to the house, boxes of 400 or 500 records coming to the house in McDonald's French fry boxes. And sometimes I used to get upset because it used to split. They didn't pack them right. But they would do that, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm running out of space. I am, with 190,000 45s. I don't have any more space here. I'm crammed up here as it is. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition. Now, this next group, they're out of Norfolk, Virginia, formed back in 1961, relocating to New Orleans, Louisiana, and signing with Joe Banashak's Minute label. Had 6 releases on the Minute label. You probably know their debut single from 1961 called It Will Stand, which was the group's biggest hit, of course. But they signed with Swann Records out of Philadelphia in 1965. They had 4 releases. This is their 4th, written by Leon Huff and the lead singer, General Norman Johnson. This is from January 1966. Let's give a listen to the Showmen on the Swann label. It's called The Honey House.
Stay with the beat. 2 ticks jumping in the bucket cage. The joint in a rage. In the honey house, that's where the action is. In the honey house, you find the action is. Swinging with people in the whole wide world. Where you gonna find those dreams? In the honey house, that's where the action is. In the honey house, you find the action is. Bumpers on the floor with this brand new bag. Mama, you're the one who ain't so bad. Break it all out, should've let it all hang out. Come on to the honey house, that's where the action is. In the honey house, you find the action is. Doing the turn, the boomerang too. Do anything that you want to do. The honey house, that's where the action is. In the honey house, you find the action is. In the honey house.
I've never been to the Honey House. Have you been to the Honey House lately? I have not. Well, not lately. I haven't there. Those are the sound of the Showmen there. General Norman Johnson on lead. January 1966, the Honey House there. Of course, in 1968, late 68, General Norman Johnson would become the lead singer of the Chairman of the Board. I'm sure came out on the Invictus label. Had a bunch of records on that label. I remember buying the 45. Give Me Just a Little More Time was a big hit for the group. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening spinning soul 45s out of my collection. We go back to Detroit, Michigan now for the sound of Motown and the debut single for this gal and listener Paul Greco in Philadelphia. I didn't see Paul in the chat room. Maybe he's tuned in. She had 13 releases on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown label before she left to sign with 20th Century Fox in 1964. I remember Mark Speck told me she left to join 20th Century because there was like possible movies involved. But that was really not a good move for her, unfortunately. But Paul requested her debut single, and it's a song she wrote. It's produced by Berry Gordy Jr., charted number 45 on Billboard, 41 on Cashbox, number 8 on the Billboard R&B chart. This was a big number 1 record if you were listening in Bethesda, Maryland. What is, I didn't write the call letters down. That's great. September 1960. This is going out to Paul Greco, Miss Mary Wells. Mary Wells on Motown, her debut single. It's called Bye Bye Baby.
know you took my heart and broke it apart. Where did I love, baby? Yeah, yeah. How could I ever start? You know you took my life, threw it away, and you gonna want my love someday. Well, bye bye, baby. Well, I thought your love was oh so true. And you made me, baby, yeah, start loving you. You know you took my love, threw it away, and you gonna want my love someday. Well, bye bye, baby. Well, your love was sweeter than any I know. So don't come back running or knocking on my front door where you said that I was your only girl. There was no other, yeah, in this whole wide world. You know you took my love, threw it away, and you gonna want my love someday. Well, bye bye, baby. Your love was sweeter than any I know. So don't come back running or knocking on my front door where you said that I was your only girl, and there was no other, yeah, in this whole wide world. You know you took my love, threw it away, and you gonna want my love someday. Well, bye bye, baby. Oh, bye bye, baby. I'm gonna want you no more. Bye bye, baby. Don't need your love. Yeah, yeah. I don't want you, baby. Bye bye, baby. Yeah. Bye bye, baby.
That's Miss Mary Wells, her debut single. That's going out to Paul Greco in Philadelphia. He's in our YouTube chat room. September 1960 on Motown Records, Bye Bye Baby. And yeah, she would go on to have some pretty big hits on the Motown label, but really wasn't a good move for her. But you know what? Hindsight's 20/20, you know. But she did have some good records, though. You know that she covered the Beatles? 20th Century Fox put out an LP of her covering all Beatles songs. I think there was even a single that came out that I have featured here on the program. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Tell your friends about the program if they want to see and hear original crackly vinyl. They need to tune in here to the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go to Newport News, Virginia for this next group. They were discovered performing in local nightclubs, and they had several releases on small local independent labels. But here's one that came out on the Solitaire label, which was out of Williamsburg, Virginia. And this one produced by Don Folletti, who was in our YouTube chat room, and Bill Mercer. Yes, the same Don Folletti that together with Eddie Grice owned Relic Records. Now, Don was attending William and Mary at the time. If he's in the chat room, he can give a little bit more information about it. And what I say, I lost my place, but he paid and produced this session with his partner at the time, Bill Mercer, recorded at Edgewater Studio in Washington, D.C. Now, Cashbox Records gave this a 4-star rating, and this charted number 23 on WRAP in Norfolk, Virginia. Let's go to November of 1963. Going to send this one out to Bill Olb, and also going to send it out to Don Folletti. Roy Hines and the Cabanas on the Solitaire record label. It's called I Can Live.
never know the sleepless nights that I've spent knowing that the love I possess for you is stronger than that of Venus and as wealthy as a treasure of Fort Knox. I can live without the stars. I can live without the sea, but I can't live without your love anymore. Please come back to me. I want you, I need you, I love you so. You're mine for now and forever, evermore. I can live without diamonds and pearls. I can live, maybe I don't have to be the Duke of Earl, but I can't live without your love anymore. Don't make me live without all of your sweet loving, baby. Baby, don't take your love away from me, mama. Baby, don't make me cry no more. I gotta have all of your sweet loving. Don't take your love away from me, baby. I need all of your sweet love.
That's November 1963 release there for Roy Hines and the Cabanas on the Solitaire record label, Solitaire Records, out of, what did I say, Williamsburg, Virginia. I Can Live is the name of the tune. Although those records were pressed by K Records in Little Ferry, New Jersey. Very interesting fact. Thanks, Bill, for that. We'll send that one out to you. We'll send it out to Don Folletti. Let's continue here. On last week's All 60s show, I featured this group from Camden, New Jersey. Their debut single on the Herald label from 1964 was called Mixed Up, Shook Up Girl. That was their first of three on Al Silver's Herald label. They would have one more on Congress Records in 66 before 4 singles were released on Cap Records, which I think distributed Congress Records. But this is their 4th release, and I think, Tony, this is another one that is in demand. I was lucky to get this one in a batch that averaged 39 cents a piece. So you really can't go wrong for buying this record for 39 cents. Of course, I'm not going to tell you when I paid a lot of money for the other ones. I'll only tell you the cheap ones. But anyway, this is their 4th release on the Cap label. It features Patty Russell on lead, February 1968. Let's give a listen to Patty and the Emblems. It's called I'm Gonna Love You a Long, Long Time.
I want you to understand. I'm your girl and you're my man. With you I go anywhere. You name it, honey, I'll be there. I'm gonna love you a long time. I'm gonna love you
Styrene 45's I Hate Styrene, although that one plays pretty decent. Patty and the Emblems, Patty Russell on lead. That's their fourth release on the Cap label from February 68. I'm Gonna Love You a Long, Long Time. Yes, I am, as we continue here. And here's a request for listener Adrian Viterbo, listening in Mexico. This trio, originally from Mississippi, started singing gospel as the Seven Seals, then relocated out to Los Angeles, California. Their debut single came out in 1965 on the Bryan label, Bryan. It would be picked up by Sid Talmadge's Highland Records and became their first of 5 on the Highland record label. But Adrian requested the B-side to their second release, written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Mike Kirkland. Let's go to May of 1967. Give a listen to Mike and the Sensations on the Highland record label. This is going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room. It's called There Is Nothing I Can Do About It, for Adrian.
Out to get even for what my last girl put me through. Acted so naive, I thought I'd take it out on you. So I handed you the short end of a deal. Revenge was the only thing to cure my ills. Now I need you so, and I'm loving you more and more. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. You told me the truth about myself, and I just sat there and pretended to be deaf. I didn't want to hear it, baby. I never heard the truth. Girl, I must confess, you really shot me down. And when I did, I sank into nothingness. There's nothing I can do about it. I started out to run my game on you. Well, you see, baby, I never intended to be true. But for a girl I thought to be so naive, the girl got smart. You sure turned around and made a loving fool of me. Oh, there's nothing I can do about it. Just like the hunter got captured by the game, there's nothing I can do about it, baby. I didn't want to love you, but there's nothing I can do about it.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there by Mike and the Sensations with Mike Kirkland on lead. That's going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room, May 67. That is their second release on the Highland label. There Is Nothing I Can Do About It. I've played the flip side of that, the A-side here on the program, but not that side. In 1969, they signed with Review Records, had 3 releases on the Review label. We continue. Let's go back to Detroit, Michigan. This singer, born and raised in Detroit, but in 1958, he was the lead singer of a group called the Tabs. They had 2 singles, one on the NASCO label, the other on, which was in 58, and another on the Dot label in 59. Now, they were playing at the Duchess Club in Detroit when he was approached by Clarence Paul, who brought him to the Motown label, and he auditioned for Berry Gordy Jr., and the result was this single on Berry Gordy's Gordy label. The song, written and produced by William Stevenson, is from July of 1964. Let's give a listen to some Blue-Eyed Soul by Tommy Good. Tommy Good from July 64 on the Gordy label. It's called Baby, I Miss You.
How my heart does yearn. Won't you please return, 'cause I miss you. Baby, I miss you. My baby said she was going away. She said tomorrow she'd be on her way. Promise me that she won't be long. Stay for a moment and she come right home. I thought about it all night long. My heart started aching before you gone. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. And I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. She's got some folks down in New Orleans, some people there that she's never seen. Said she'd be just a little while. Gave me a great big kiss and a goodbye smile. When I heard the words goodbye, my eyes clouded up and I had to cry. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Girl, and I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. How my heart does yearn. Won't you please return, 'cause I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Yeah, yeah. And I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. I told myself, hey, it's alright. You miss the loving for just one night. Tommy, you can take it, I know you can. Just stand up like a natural man. But when I heard her slam the door, I knew right then I couldn't take it no more. And I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Girl, and I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. I'm gonna miss all your loving. Oh, yeah. And I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you. Baby, I miss you. Yeah, yeah. All your loving. Oh, yeah. And I want you to know before you go, baby, I miss you.
That's Blue-Eyed Soul on the Berry Gordy's Gordy record label. His name is Tommy Good. Tommy Good, July 64. Song entitled Baby, I Miss You. In 1966, he would become the lead singer of the Inner Circle, that recorded on the Impact record label, another Detroit label. We continue here on Vinyl Treasures. We heard Tommy Good. How about Ronnie Love? Ronnie Love, as we stay in Detroit. This is on Mike Hank's D-Town label, but his real name is Ronnie Dunbar. You just had to know that it was not a real name. That was an alias. But he recorded as Ronnie Love. Let's give a spin to his second of four on the D-Town label, a song he co-wrote with the label owner Mike Hanks and Cara Bell. This is from 1964. Ronnie Love on D-Town. It's called Always Be Good.
You say you're gonna be bad. All your lover has made you sad now. Say you're gonna do wrong. You say you're gonna do wrong. You're gonna
come back to you. You say you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Cause you fell in love and lost. You say you just can't take life at any cost. Now don't you know that's wrong? Don't you know that's wrong? Always be good. Always be good. Yeah, like a good girl should. Like a good girl should. And the best thing, yeah, the very best of everything will come back to you. Come back to you. Always be good. Always be good. Yeah, like a good girl should. Like a good girl should. And the best thing will come back to you. You know the good have to pay for the bad sometimes, but good things come to those who wait. And if your lover has done you wrong, just wait. It's not too late. It's not too late. That's what you said. What you said. Now always be good. Always be good. Like a good girl should. Now always be good. Always be good. Like a good girl should. Always be good.
That's out of Detroit. That's Ronnie Love on the D-Town record label. That's Mike Hank's D-Town Records. Always Be Good is the name of the 1964 release. Now, I paid a little bit of money for that 45 because Greg Surik, the late Greg Surik, used to funnel me records, well, at least in the beginning of the collecting hobby for Johnny G, and that was, I think he charged me either 75 or 100 for that 45. I don't know what it's worth now. Maybe it's worth a little bit more, but I wasn't looking at it as an investment proposition at the time. It was just records. My goal was to collect every 45 in the Kreider book, although that is a soul record not in the Kreider book because I did like soul music, but only because, and again, because my aunt was the one that kind of shaped my musical taste in the music. And she was a big Alan Freed fan back in the 1950s. And she wasn't the normal teenager. She had about 900 records in her collection, but she used to buy from the jukebox dealer. But anyway, Johnny G babbles on. Let's continue here for this request for UK listener Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. And this gal is from Philadelphia, PA. And she was singing gospel in the early 1960s, but she transitioned to secular music in 1965, signing with Mercury Records for 2 releases, but in 66 she would sign with Warner Brothers. Now, Tony requested her first on Warner Brothers. I think she had about 8 in all. And this would be her biggest hit, a tune written by Jerry Ragavoy and George Weiss. This charted number 64 on Billboard, 62 on Cashbox, number 11 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 1 record if you were listening down in Florida to WAME and WMGM. We go to September of 1966 for Miss Lorraine Ellison. This is for Tony Crosby in the UK on the Warner Brothers label. It's called Stay With Me.
Oh to touch when you need tenderness. I gave you so much, and in return I found happiness. Baby, what did I do? Maybe I was too good to you. No, I can't believe you're leaving me. Stay with me, baby. Please stay with me, baby. Remember, you said you'd always gonna need me. Remember, you said you'd never ever leave me. Remember, I'm asking you, begging you. Stay with me, baby. Please stay with me, baby.
September 66 release there from Miss Lorraine Ellison, her first of 8 on the Warner Brothers label, Stay With Me. That's for Tony Crosby in the UK. Great tune there by her. It was unfortunate, though, that Lorraine passed away January 31st of 1983 from ovarian cancer. She was only 51 years old. We remember her here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go back out to Los Angeles, California, to the Trudell record label. Now, the interesting thing about this record is I bought this 45 at Yonkers Raceway Flea Market when I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. It was 75, 76. So I bought a 1971 Chevy Impala with 298,000 miles on it. And it had a rusted trunk, and I would drive to Yonkers Raceway every Sunday to that flea market. But of course, you learn from your mistakes. And not that there were a lot of copies of this record, but, for 25 cents, I would buy things that looked interesting. So I bought this record, and I've always liked the song. I never knew it was a big thing or anything, but when people started showing records to a few people, they're like, "You want to sell me that record?" I said, "Well, which one?" I said, "I really don't sell records I only have one copy of." So they said to me, "Well, I'll give you $1,500 for it." So I said, $1,500 for this record? It's not really in bad shape at all. So I was like, no, I can't do it. I mean, somebody even wanted my Chances I've Taken at one time, and I didn't want to sell it. And they gave me they were offering me a decent price. I says, "No, I can't do it." Now, maybe if I had a garage record like that, I have a John English III that I'd be willing to trade, but for a big group record though, because I'm not really into garage 45s, but I did collect them as I ran labels, and that's on what that's on the, what label is that? That's Sabra. That's on Sabra Records. So if anybody has a group record, a heavy group record, and like to get a garage record, it's in nice shape too, I'd be willing to trade it. But that record I think is sold for $7,000 a couple times. Maybe it's dropped down a little bit, but I'm not really into garage. I know my buddy Dave is though. But anyway, I found this record, and Greg actually offered me money for this record, but I didn't sell it. But this group had 4 releases on the Trudell label. This is the B-side to their second. The tune written and arranged by the lead singer of the group. His name is Willie Hutchinson, a.k.a. also went by Willie Hutch. And this I said as in demand 45, and it's from December of 64. Let's give a listen to the phonetics. The phonetics on Trudell Records. It's called Just a Boy's Dream. That group called the Phonetics there. That is an In Demand 45, December 54. Willie Hutchinson on lead, the Phonetics on Trudell. Just a Boy's Dream. Was a lot of fun buying records out in the wild if you can find them. But it's, you know, it's kind of like really bad hit and miss now. Not that I even have time to do it anymore. But anyway, but I'm getting my pension checks in September, so I'll have extra money to buy 45s. Yes, I will. Let's continue here. Here's a request for Philly listener Paul Greco. You all know this girl group from Inkster, Michigan, the first girl group to sign with Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown empire. They would have about 24 releases or so on the Tamla label between 61 and 72. Now, Paul requested the B-side to their very first record, and the A-side was a big hit for him. I'm sure you all know the song. It's called Please Mr. Postman, but Paul requested the B-side. Now, it features Wanda Young on lead, the late Wanda Young on lead. The song written by Wanda's older brother. He co-wrote it. His name is James Young, and this did chart somewhere in the U.S., at least ARSA says number 67 on KTSA in San Antonio, Texas. Let's go back to August 1961 by request for Phil Greco in Philadelphia. The Marvelettes with the B-side on the Tamla label. It's called So Long, Baby.
I thought you
That's going out to Paul Greco. If I called you Phil Greco, that's somebody else I know. But it's Paul Greco in Philadelphia. See, that's where the rhyme comes in. Phil and Paul and Greco. You see how easily it can get messed up if you only have 4 hours of sleep? It's very simple. That's a B-side to Please Mr. Postman with a very young Wanda Young on lead. August 61 going out to Paul Greco. The Marvelettes on Tamla with So Long Baby. It's not so long yet, not until midnight tonight, but let's continue here for this next singer, songwriter and producer from Cartersville, Georgia, born Robert Louis Beavers. Robert Louis Beavers, and first recorded as half of the duo Johnny and Jackie on the Anna and the Tri-Fi labels, but then he signed with Leonard Chess's Chess label for 2 records. This was his second, a song he co-wrote and produced. This is produced by Billy Davis and Gene Barge, and his name is Jackie Beavers. This is from August of 65. Jackie Beavers on the Checker record label, and I think this is a dance. Let's all get up and do the slingshot.
Slingshot! Wind it up now. Oh, you load it on up. You rock it on back. You give it a whirl. Then you let it go, girl. Now you're doing a slingshot. Come on, baby. Now you're doing a slingshot. Come on, come on. Now you jerk it to the left. Then you jerk it to the right.
That's the second of 2 for Jackie Beavers on the Checker record label from August 65. Song entitled Slingshot. Later releases on Revelot, Jabber, Grandland, and also Soundstage 7. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition. Been featuring this gal's singles over the last, maybe a couple months or so. First recording for the Chicago-based Cobra label in 1958. I still need that Cobra release. It always eludes me every time it comes up for sale. But in 1963, she would sign with VJ Records for 13 total releases. I think 4 of those releases were duets with Jerry Butler, but Tony Crosby in the UK and in our YouTube chat room requested her seventh release on the VJ label, and this tune, written by Van McCoy, produced by Calvin Carter, charted number 79 on Cashbox, 65 on Billboard, 28 on the R&B chart, and number 15 on KGFJ in LA, California from November 64. Let's give a listen to Betty Everett. Betty Everett on VJ Records. This is going out to Tony Crosby in the UK. It's called Gettin' Mighty Crowded.
I'm packing up my memories and I'm gonna move on out of your heart. Turning in my keys and I'm gonna move on out of your heart. 'Cause there ain't a room enough for two, and sharing your heart with someone new will never do.
It's getting mighty crowded.
I'm telling you,
It's getting mighty crowded.
gonna take these dreams of mine and I'm gonna move on out of your life. Stop wasting my time and I'm gonna move on out of your life. 'Cause there ain't a room enough for three in dreams that were made for you and me. And so you see,
It's getting mighty crowded.
it's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
I'm saving you the trouble of putting me down. Starting on the double, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna shop around, find myself another heart where I can live all by myself. Gonna find myself a heart I don't have to share with nobody else. 'Cause you didn't treat me like you should, and sticking around this neighborhood is just no good.
It's getting mighty crowded.
It's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
Packing up my memories.
It's getting mighty crowded.
It's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
That's the great Betty Everett there. That's going out to a UK listener, Tony Crosby. Betty Everett from November 64 on Vivian Carter's VJ Records. Gettin' Mighty Crowded is the name of that tune here. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes tonight. Those of you tuned in on Oldies and More Radio, it's Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. Feature only original vinyl here on the program. If I can find your requests, I will. I had some, because I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time like I used to have, but I'll get there eventually there. So just hope you're digging on the cool sounds here as we go to the Nutmeg State now with this request for listener Tom Shaughnessy. Sorry to hear about your toilets, Tom. Tom listening down in Florida there, but this song covered by a number of artists. Jackie Shane did the original of this in 1963. Clyde McFadder, I think, also did it in 64 for Mercury Records, and I think Roosevelt Greer also recorded this on the Rick label. But here is a one more version of the tune by this group out of Connecticut. They're called The Lovers. We're going to send this one out to Tom Shaughnessy from May 65. The Lovers on Agon Records, and their rendition of the tune In My Tenement.
Wash on the clothesline, never look good. Smoky head turns them gray. Sun can't pass through my dirty window, but I kinda like it that way.
In my tenement at the top of the stairs. In my tenement, she'll be waiting right there. In my tenement, this poor boy is free. In my tenement, she'll give me everything. The rumble of the subways passing by,
Singing of the group in the hall.
we don't have
nothing but plain tap water. But I kinda like it that way. In my tenement, at the top of the stairs. In my tenement, she'll be waiting right there. In my tenement, this poor boy is king. In my tenement, she'll give me everything. Life is hard, but we don't mind. We got each other to cling to. She makes my life worthwhile with a smile. You know she makes my dreams come true. In my tenement, at the top of the stairs. In my tenement, she'll be waiting right there. In my tenement, this poor boy is king. In my tenement, she'll give me everything.
As going out to Tom Shaughnessy in his tenement. Hopefully he's getting his toilets unplugged and they're not overflowing. That's from May 65, The Lovers on the Agon record label, In My Tenement. Tommy watches Johnny G on his 50-inch ITV. If you have an ITV, you can watch the program there. You can sign in on YouTube and do that. Anyway, Johnny G here spinning the 45s. This next singer, she is from Detroit, Michigan. She came on the scene back in 1962 with her debut single on the Perry label. Then she had two on George Gollner's N record label. Her first tune is a pretty good one, a song called How Come. But she would do three on 20th Century Fox, and this is a B-side that was issued as a B-side twice on her second and third release. But I'm playing it off her third release, a tune co-written by and produced by Jerry Granahan, arranged by Arnold Goland. We go to January 65 for Miss Birdie Green. Birdie Green on 20th Century Fox, and her tune is called I Deserve It.
Yes,
B-sides here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Birdie Green, that is the B-side to her third release on 20th Century Fox, I Deserve It, Yes I Do, from January 1965. Let's go back to Philadelphia, PA now, with this group initially recording in 65 for Scepter Records as Irma and the Fascinators. Here is their very next release, came out on the local Philadelphia-based Priority label. It would be picked up by Fairmount Records, which is the second issue of this. I have it first press on Priority, a tune written by Eddie Holman and James Solomon. And the lead singer on this, it features Irma Jackson on lead. We go to May of 1966. This is Irma and the Larks. Irma and the Larks on Priority Records. It's called Without You, Baby.
The sweet soft love song good to everyone's ear, but without you, darling, it's a song I can't hear. But what good is a love song to me when you said our love could never be? Don't you know that? Without you, baby, to hear my plea. Without you, baby, nothing's good to me. Without you, baby, please hear my plea. Without you. Angels in a love car down the same people's way. But there's others who better, like the first time of day. But what good is a love call to me when you said our love could never be? Don't you know that? Without you, baby, please hear my plea. Without you, baby, nothing's good to me. Without you, please hear my plea. Without you. Good things may happen in time, but what good are good things if you can't be mine now? Without you, please hear my plea. Without you, baby, nothing's good to me. Without you, please hear my plea. Without you, baby, come on home, baby. Without you, baby, 'cause I need your love.
There you go. That's on the that's on the Priority label. I bought that from Barry Salt's. It wasn't so expensive because the condition's a little bit off, but it's May 1968. Still a cool tune there. Irma and the Larks, Priority Records. Irma Jackson on lead. Without You, Baby is the name of the tune. Johnny G's Not Without You here on a Wednesday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up too for that. And I can't tell you that the YouTube police, they've been away so far, but I don't know how long the Motown stuff is gonna. I got some more Motown records coming in. They follow me with that. But anyway, let's continue here. We stay in Philadelphia now, this time with a last-minute request for listener Ronnie Sherman. I know Ronnie Sherman is tuned into the show right now. Got to say hi to Ronnie. It's August 64, I should say. This group first recorded as the Marlins on the Cameo record label with the song called Everybody Do the Swim, Part 1. Now, with their next release, they would change their name to the Stylets. And that record that came out by them was on the Sandy record label. It would get picked up by Cameo Records, and but Ronnie requested the B-side to their second release after that. And the tune written by Eugene Dozier, a.k.a. Lamont Dozier. We go to January 1965. Give a listen to the Stylets on the Cameo label. This is for listener Ronnie Sherman. The song is called My Boy. As by request for listener Ronnie Sherman, the Stylets. Stylets out of Philadelphia, January 65. That's the B-side to their second release on the Cameo record label. My Boy is the name of that tune. Let's go back to Detroit now. This is a request for Philly listener Paul Greco, who has gone to bed. He's going to listen to the show tomorrow morning on the archive. Usually the chat is not up right away, although it was up real quick on Monday's show. I think it was. But I'm going to also send this one out to listener Rick Fisher. Now, this group was the first successful recording act for Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown empire. They had, I think, about 40 releases or so on the Tamla label through 1972 with the original lead singer. Of course, they went beyond that after William Smokey Robinson left the group, but Paul requested their seventh release, written by Smokey Robinson, arranged by Riley C. Hampton. This charted number 39 on Billboard, 33 on Cashbox, 11 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 5 record on WEEL. If you were tuned in Washington, D.C., we go to April 1962. These are the Miracles on the Tamla label. This is a record, this is actually my aunt's copy, believe it or not. This is her copy. And I have a mint one somewhere in the no humidity basement. These are the Miracles on Tamla with I'll Try Something New for Paul.
With a tower so high it reaches the moon. I'll gather melodies from birdies that fly and compose you a tune. Give you love and warm and mama's of it and the stars and count them and move a mountain. And if that don't do, I'll try something new. On the moon above, I write it's you that I love. And baby, if it don't do, I'm gonna try something new. Oh well, if at first I don't succeed, try again is what I'll do. Always trying something else, always trying something that's
That's a great sound of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, April 62 release. That's their 7th release on the Tamla label, I'll Try Something New. That's by request for Philly listener Paul Greco. Also send that one out to Rick Fisher, hopefully tuned into the program. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures for this gal. She's from Shreveport, Louisiana, who would later relocate to Los Angeles, California. Her name, her real name, Betty Jean Champion, but you know her as Betty Swann. And she had a big hit with a song called Make Me Yours back in 1967 on the Money record label. But in 1968, she signed with Capitol Records for 6 releases. Let's give a listen to her 6th and final release on Capitol. This is a song that she wrote. It's produced by Phil Wright. This was a number 27 record in Louisville, Kentucky. I didn't write it down, Charlene, as I rewrote it. But anyways, from June 1970, touch of the 70s here on the All 60s edition. Betty Swann on Capitol Records. It's called Don't Let It Happen to Us.
Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen.
Like yesterday's rose bouquet will wilt in just a few days. Our love will too. That's what everybody says. But what they don't know is this is no ordinary love. Silly little things that break people up like jealousy and mistrust. We won't let it happen to us. Say you won't let it happen to us. Don't let it happen to us. Help me hold on. Keep it together. Keep it together. You're gonna hear a lot, I know, from relatives and friends, but don't listen to them. That's where the trouble begins. They'll tell you one thing and they'll tell me another. Before we know what's going on, they'll have us fighting each other. Don't let it happen to us. I don't want that to happen to us. Say you won't let it happen to us. Help me hold on. Keep it together. Keep it together. One way you can always be sure where I am. Follow me around like a little lamb. But won't it make you feel better, knowing within your heart that our love is still together, even though we're apart? Don't let it happen to us. Don't let 'em break us up. Don't let it happen to us.
That's Miss Betty Swann. That was a number 27 song on WLOU in Louisville, Kentucky. There you go. Betty Swann, June 1970. A touch of the 70s here. That's her eighth. That's her. What did I say there? Her sixth and final. I need new glasses. That's her sixth and final release for the Capitol record label. Don't Let It Happen to Us is the name of the tune. And hope you're digging on these tunes here as we move on for this musician, guitarist, singer, and songwriter, originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, first recording back in 1954 at the age of 10 on the Groove label, subsidiary of RCA Records. Now at 21 years old, he signed with the jazz label Prestige Records, and he was a jazz guitarist with releases on Prestige. Now, in the later 70s, he had some major hits for Warner Brothers like This Masquerade. Now, this is me growing up in the 70s, records that I bought. This Masquerade, On Broadway. In the 80s, he had songs like Give Me the Night, Turn Your Love Around. They were hits for him. But here's one he did in June of 1969. This is actually a cover tune. This was first done by David Houston on the Epic label in December 68. But this version charted number 21 on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland. We go to June of 69 for George Benson. George Benson on A&M Records and his rendition of the tune My Woman's Good to Me.
Your lips are warm and close to mine. I know their taste like warm red wine. And if I let myself go, I know I'd fall. But someone's waiting all alone by a lonely telephone. And though I'd love to stay, I know I'll call. 'Cause I can't forget her. No, I can't forget her. No, 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 'cause my woman's good to me. Not as brown as yours. Her lips are not as soft as yours. And if I kissed you, she'd probably never know. But when tomorrow brings the sun, I'd have to live with what I've done. And though I'd love to stay, I know I'll go. 'Cause I can't forget her. No, I can't forget her. No, no,
That's Mr. George Benson there, June 1968. That's on A&M Records, My Woman's Good to Me. That's a record I found out in the wild for a quarter. Really can't go wrong with something like that as we continue here. And this next 45, it came out on Julie Rifkin's Boom label, B-O-O-M, a label out of New York City, written by Johnny Northern, Ansler Montel, and Ralph Bailey. It's arranged by Robert Banks. Her name is Tammy Wayne. Tammy Wayne's her name, and this is the intended B-side of the 45. Came out in March of 1966. The song is called Kiss Away. That's a record as old as our listener Darlene Goodwin in our YouTube chat room there. That's a rough copy there, I have to tell you. It is not really an easy record to find clean either, really. That's Tammy Wayne, March of 1966 on Boom Records, song entitled Kiss Away. That's the intended B-side of the 45. And we continue now, and this is a flip side from last week, because last week I played the debut single for this singer, born in Collinsville, Mississippi, was on the Miracle label. The song titled Don't Feel Sorry for Me. Well, let's give a spin to the flip side before this one goes back down in the no humidity basement, and that dehumidifier has been working nonstop for the last couple of weeks. This is the older brother to Temptations lead singer David Ruffin, talking about Jimmy Ruffin here. It's a song he wrote from January 61. Jimmy Ruffin on the Miracle label. I hate styrene 45s. I have a vinyl press of this, but I figured I'd play this one. I don't know. The song is called Heart, Jimmy Ruffin.
H is for the heart that I gave to you. E is forever, ever true. A is for always, always I think of you. I think of you, that's all I ever do. R is for remember all those dreams we shared. never make you blue, 'cause I'll always be standing right here beside you. If you will keep the heart I gave to you. Keep the heart I gave to you, and I promise, baby, I will never make you blue, never be untrue, 'cause that love, I love only you. Please, please, keep my heart.
Early Jimmy Ruffin here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. His first record on the Miracle label, January 61, Heart is the name of the tune. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. Let's go to back to the requests here. I was looking for my vinyl press of this 45, but because I hate playing styrene. Of course, both of them I found out in the wild, but I have a promo copy on the Big Top label, but this is going to have to do the painted on stock copy. Request for UK listener Tony Crosby, the singer from Brooklyn, New York, first sang gospel with a group called the Zionettes on the Simpson label. Then in 1962, he joined a group called the Canjos, Canjoes, recorded for the Dapt label. I have that 45, I do. But later that year, he would sign with Big Top and also, I think, a subsidiary Hill Records, or is it Big Hill Records, maybe? But to have 10 releases, let's give a listen to his fourth, by request for listener Tony Crosby in the UK, also in our YouTube chat room. September 65, Mr. Lou Johnson on Big Top Records. It's called Unsatisfied for Tony.
Don't you turn aside, don't you leave me so unsatisfied. The coldness of your kiss leaves me unsatisfied. Don't make me feel like this. I'm so unsatisfied that it hurts, but it's more than my pride that you have stepped upon. Baby, I could try now. Wanna die now if your love's gone. Put yourself in my place. Feel what I feel inside. It's heartaches that I face. I'm so unsatisfied, don't you know that I love you so much that I can't be denied. Give me what I need now. I'm begging you, He's so unsatisfied. Yes, so don't you turn aside, don't you leave me so unsatisfied. I long to make you mine. Lord knows how much I've tried. You turn from me each time. I'm so unsatisfied, don't you know that I love you so much that I can't be denied. Unsatisfied. Yeah, yeah, baby. Unsatisfied. Yeah, yeah, baby. Unsatisfied. Oh, shook up, baby. Nah, 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 nah.
That's going out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. He's tuned in over in the UK. The great sound there of Lou Johnson. It's actually a B-side. I wonder if he ever did that on American Bandstand. There are some clips of him lip syncing on American Bandstand, but I don't think that one there. Too bad. September 65 on Big Top Records, Unsatisfied. Hopefully Johnny G not leaving you unsatisfied. We need the listeners to be satisfied here on a Wednesday evening as we continue here for this request for listener Adrian Viterbo. I finally found this record, Adrian. If I don't find it this week, I'll find it if I say that I have it eventually. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, but this gal, she's from Beaumont, Texas, discovered by Joe Barry. Now, her debut single came out in 1962 on the Eric label, a song called Give Me a Break, but she signed with the Philadelphia-based Jamie label. She had 15 releases on Jamie. Her first release would be her biggest hit, a great tune she does called You'll Lose a Good Thing, but Adrian requested her fifth. Her real name is Barbara Lynn Ozen, and she plays her own guitar and left-handed too, by the way, but she recorded as Barbara Lynn. And this is a song she wrote. It's produced by Huey Moe. This charted number 14 on KPAC in Port Arthur, Texas, if you were tuned in. This is going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room, May 1963. Miss Barbara Lynn on the Jamie record label. It's called To Love or Not to Love.
You say, or have I learned my lesson? I've heard these things before. Don't try to fool me with some more of things you've done to fool everyone, yeah. To love or not to love, that is the question. To believe in what you say, or quit while I'm ahead. Oohs are easy to find. You see them all of the time, but sometimes I wonder if it's worth giving a try. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth giving a try. Yeah. To love or not to love, 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 to love or not to love.
There you go. That's going out to Adrian Viterbo, listening in Mexico. That's his request. Miss Barbara Lynn, May 1963. That's on the Jamie record label, her fifth release. Song entitled To Love or Not to Love. I was lucky finding that the other night. It was in the first J box that I looked in because I have records not filed. They're not filed. Well, they're filed alphabetically in boxes. So I might have about 10 boxes of J records, and I separate them from the 60s versus the 50s. So I got to thumb through. If I don't have it filed and cleaned, I have most of my rare group stuff all cleaned and filed. Not all of it, but most of it. But when I got to look for like some obscure thing that somebody requests, I don't have it available. I gotta go looking in the boxes and it takes me a little longer, but anyway, we'll find it eventually. Let's go back to Chicago for this singer. He was the lead singer of the Duques. As a member of that group, they recorded a song called Duke of Earl. Now the master was sold to VJ Records and it became his biggest hit. Now his real name is Eugene Dixon, but you know him as Gene Chandler. Now after 11 releases for VJ Records, he signed with Constellation. He had 17 releases on Constellation. This is his 17th. A tune written by Billy Butler, produced by Bill Shepard. This charted number 44 on Cashbox, number 39 on Billboard, number 4 on the R&B chart, and a Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 1 record on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. If I'm going to do a soul countdown, it's going to be WJMO. That's a great station out of Cleveland, Ohio. This is September 64. Let's give a listen to Gene Chandler. Gene Chandler on Constellation. The song is called Bless Our Love.
God bless our love. God bless our love. And God forgive us our temptation. For He knows that we have been tempted beyond and above humiliation. God bless our love. Will He be by our side when we need a guide? And as He's blessed the stars above, bless our love. When our emotions are playing games and we don't know right from wrong, and we begin feeling ashamed, and pray, and I thank God every day for showing us the right way to love. That He'll be by our side. As He's blessed the stars above, oh, God bless our love. God bless our love. God bless our love. God bless our love.
September 1964 release there for Gene Chandler. Gene Chandler on the Constellation record label, a song called Bless Our Love. Now, a Oakland, California group would do a nice rendition of this tune on the Venture label, The Ballads, in 1968, and they called it God Bless Our Love. That was a 45 that my aunt purchased back in 1968 by The Ballads. Johnny G here, spinning original 45s. Let's continue back to Detroit for this gal. Her real name is Anna Jean Harris. Started recording back in 1960 with releases on ABC Paramount, and her next 3 singles after that were all on different labels, early 60s stuff. Atco, OK, and Lennox. I think Lennox was in 63. But she would sign with Leonard Chess's Argo label in 1965, and her first 2 releases came out on the Argo label, but the label would change their name to Cadet, and she had 3 more releases on Cadet. This was her final one, a tune written by Lionel Segal, arranged by Bert Keys, and this is a cover tune. This was first recorded by Martha Smith in 1965 for Cameo Records. Let's give a spin to this version from November 66 by Jean Duchon. Jean Duchon from November 66 on Cadet Records. It's called As I Watch You Walk Away.
There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can say. Though you take my heart with you, I must watch you walk away. Clouds of sorrow fill the sky, and the sun deserts the day. Only tears upon my eyes as I watch you walk away. Never, never, never to hold you close again. I can't bear the thought of living without you. You can hurt me if you will. I will love you, come what may. I will cling to you until I must watch you walk away. I know, I know, I know someone is waiting to take your love from me. I know, someone is waiting to take you in her arms. I can't bear the thought of what kissing you. Oh, there is nothing I can do. Oh, there is nothing I can say. You take my heart with you. I must watch you walk away. I must watch you walk away. Darling, how I wish you would stay, but I must watch you walk away. I must watch you walk.
November 66 release. Yeah, I like that tune by Jean Duchon. Jean Duchon on the Cadet record label, As I Watch You Walk Away. Johnny G not walking away, not yet. We'll do a little bit of overtime here as we continue here. And here is a request for UK listener Tony Crosby. This singer first sang lead with Billy Ward and the Dominoes on the Federal record label in the early 1950s. Been playing a lot of their records on the Saturday night show and normally feature them there. But he would go solo in 1957, recording for Brunswick Records. I think he had about 67 or so releases through 1977 on Brunswick Records. Now, Tony requested his 44th release, another Van McCoy written tune. Tony, you mentioned you like Van McCoy. This one produced by Carl Davis, arranged by Sonny Sanders. This is directed by Gerald Sims. This charted number 82 on Billboard, 79 on Cashbox, number 11 on the Billboard R&B, and a big number 10 record on WMBM in Miami, Florida. I thought I had multiple copies of this, but I only found this VG copy. Hopefully it plays okay for Tony. This is from April 67, the great Jackie Wilson on Brunswick Records. It's called I've Lost You for Tony.
Come back, baby, oh come back. Come back, baby, oh come back.
I see that faraway look in your eyes. I know you're thinking of someone else. And when I talk to you, I realize I might as well be talking to myself. 'Cause you don't hear a single word I say. Your thoughts are 500,000 miles away. And I've lost you. Yeah, baby, I've lost you. Lost you. Make it in a hurry. Never be, don't need to worry. I can feel a distant attitude, and day by day it's getting colder, baby. I tried to kiss you, but you're in a mood like you don't care to be bothered, baby. And when you hold me in your loving arms, your body's with me, but your soul is gone, and I've lost you. Yeah, baby, I've lost you. Lost you. All right. Make it in a hurry, yeah. Never be, don't need to worry. I've got to find a way back in your heart. But where do I begin? And where do I start when I've lost you? Yeah, baby, I've lost you. Lost you. Make it in a hurry, yeah. Never be, don't need to worry, yeah. Down on my bending knees, baby, begging you to come back, please. All right, listen. Now when I find you, baby, I'm gonna jump and shout. I want you to know what it's all about. I'm gonna kiss you in the morning before the sun don't shine. Take you in my arms and make you mine all mine. All right, listen. All right, a little bit loud. All right, a little bit loud.
That's going out to Tony Crosby there. Tony Crosby, the Mr. Jackie Wilson, April 1967 release on the Brunswick record label. I've Lost You is the name of the tune. I didn't know that. Bruce mentions that he recorded as Sonny Wilson. It's got to be a 78. I've never seen a 45 of it. So that is an interesting thing as we continue here on the All 60s edition. And up next is singer from... she's from Hansville, Alabama. She was born Cancetta Candy Staton, and she was a member of the Jewel Gospel Trio back in 1955. They recorded for the Nashboro record label, but she signed with Rick Hall's Fame label in 1969. She had 12 releases on the label. Her debut single was a song called I'd Rather Be an Old Man's Sweetheart. Made it up to number 9 on the R&B chart, but I like the flip side, the ballad side. A great soulful ballad she does, a tune written by George Jackson. We go to August of 1969 for Candy Staton. Candy Staton on the Fame label. The song is called For You.
For you, I'll do anything. For you, would stay by your side until you were away. Neglecting my own self because I'm so in love with you. All I'm living for is for you. I'm living for you. I don't have no reason to live. I don't have no reason to live without you.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is a B-side to a Candy Staton, If I'd Rather Be an Old Man's Sweetheart is the name of the tune. That one there on the Fame record label. I have August 69. Whatever Charlene put there is what I put. So that's how it goes. Candy Staton, For You, a great ballad with gals in the background. That is a very cool ballad. Johnny G here on a Wednesday night. Tell your friends about the program. No collector does what I do, as this is actually my creation that I do all this. I set all this thing up here. I did the research to do it. Been doing it since 2015. The show has exploded within the last year, so thank you all for being a part of it and participating with your requests and your kind comments and lots of emails today. You know the DJs love to get emails. We do, so thank you all for that. And we go to this girl group from the Bronx, New York, first recorded back in 1957, late 57 for George Goldner's N record label. You may know their big hit called Maybe. Arlene Smith, she was the lead singer on that, but she would leave the group. When she left the group, maybe in the early 1960s, 61, they would sign with Carlton Records. They would follow Richard Barrett to Carlton Records, then Ludix, and then by the time they signed with Verve Records, which was early 1966, the group only included 3 original members. They were Sonia Goring, Jackie Landry, and Renee Minus, M-I-N-U-S, but she was the lead singer on the Verve releases. They added a 4th member. Her name was Helen Powell, who previously sang lead with the Impacts and Barbara English and the Fashions. Let's give a listen to their second of 2 on the Verve label from August 1966. These are the Chantels. The Chantels on Verve Records. Their tune is called Indian Giver.
Just one girl to love.
Those are the late Chantels. Chantels from August 1966. Their second of two on the Verve label, Indian Giver, is the name of that tune. We continue here with a request for listener Jimmy Amato. I don't know if Jimmy Amato is in the house. He may be with Louie on a Wednesday night, but this group is out of Chicago. They had 9 releases on the ABC, Paramount, and ABC records between 1964 and 1969. Their biggest hit was their second release on ABC Paramount, a song called I Do. And I think that song was recorded by the Jay Giles Band, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1980s. I just remember seeing the video when they used to show it on MTV, I think. But this was their wait a minute. That's their second release. With their 6th release, they would become the Mighty Marvellos. But Jimmy requested the B-side to their hit record, a song called I Do. It features Melvin Mason on lead. We go to March of 1965 for the Marvellos. The Marvellos on ABC Paramount. This is a B-side. This is the flip side of I Do. This is going out to listener Jimmy Amato. The song is called My Heart. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there going out to Jimmy Amato. Jimmy Amato, the Marvellos there. The flip side of I Do. Melvin Mason on lead. March 1965 release. My Heart. Cool bongos in that tune. And I like bongos. Yes, I do. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go out to Southern California for this gal. It's her only release. This came out like a twin spin on ABC Paramount Records in 1965. She performed this on the July 24th, 1965 Chivalry program. I think you can check it out on YouTube. You can check her out. But this one arranged by Jean Page. Her name is Vicky Gomez. Vicky Gomez. This is her only release from May 65 on ABC Paramount. It's called Boys Are a Dime a Dozen.
Yeah.
Really, Boys Are a Dime a Dozen? Really? Vicky Gomez there. That's her only release on ABC Paramount Records, May 1965. Boys Are a Dime a Dozen. You should get a records a dime a dozen. That would be a great deal for these 45s. Let's go back to Chicago, Illinois. This is on Bobby Pee Wee Robinson's DD record label. Now, Bobby was the first tenor for the Gems that recorded for the Drexel record label, and the band gets top billing on this 45. There's Sam Chapman and the Sparks, but it features a singer by the name of Kenny Wells, and he also wrote the tune. Now, I am perplexed on the release date of this. I don't know if it's 63, 65, 64, 66. Maybe Bruce can help me with this, but I couldn't date this record. It's like difficult. I didn't get a chance to check on the copyright either, but that's not always 100% anyway. But I bought this record from Barry Saltz a long, long time ago, and I put it as 65. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's Sam Chapman and the Sparks, and the lead on this is Kenny Wells. It's on DD Records out of Chicago. The song is called I Can't Believe It.
I must be sick, I can't be well. For things like this I have only heard tell. I just cannot believe it. Tell me how you captured my heart and why I feel that we must never part. Now why is it since I first looked at you I've had a warm sensation that scorches me through and through. I must be sick, I can't be well. For things like this I have only heard tell. I just cannot believe it. Can't be well. For things like this I have only heard tell. I just cannot believe it. Oh, what kind of spell have you cast upon my soul? And explain to me why my words I can't control. Now why is it since I first looked at you I've had a warm sensation that scorches me through and through. I must be sick, I can't be well. For things like this I have only heard tell. I just cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it.
I tried lining that up right there, slightly off center there, so it's kind of driving me crazy there. But I don't know the release date on there. I'm waiting for Bruce to get back to me on the release date. It's on the DD label out of Chicago. It's the credit goes to Sam Chapman, Chatmon, and the Sparks. But the lead singer on that, the singer, he gets credit featuring Kenny Wells. Kenny Wells on lead. He also wrote the tune. It's called I Can't Believe It. But that label, this DD label, because I have other releases on this DD label, That is by the owned by the first tenor of the Gems on Drexel. That is Bobby Pee Wee Robinson. Johnny G here on a Wednesday. Tell your friends about the program. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here as we continue here for this next 45, the very last single for a girl group called the Joy Tones, first recorded for George Goldner's Rama label way back in 1956. They had 3 releases on the Rama label. Just featured My Foolish Heart not too long ago on the Saturday night show. But Vicki Burgess, she was the lead singer on those early sides. Previously, she was the female lead of the Charmers that recorded for Central Records, have those 45s, have featured them here on the Saturday night program. But this one is their very last single for the group, and 2/3 of the girls are original members, that being Vicki Burgess and Margaret Moore. They added one new member to this group at the time. Her name is Lynn Middleton. Interesting, though. I wonder if that is Tony Middleton's wife, because the song was written by Al. Is it Al Stewart? And I typed it wrong. Yes. The tune written by Al Stewart and Tony Middleton. And the lead singer on this is Lynn Middleton. So I don't know if Lynn Middleton is Tony's wife. Maybe not. Or maybe sister. I don't know. But anyway, she actually, there is a, I think there is a UGHA video of this, of her singing this song, if I'm not mistaken. Charlene found that out for me. But it's from February 65. These are the Joy Tones. Lynn Middleton on lead on Coed Records. It's called This Is Love, parentheses, That I'm Giving You. The Joy Tones. There you go. That's the last single for the Joy Tones. I paid $6 with a 25% discount from one of the dealers really early in the late 1980s for that record. Anyway, a cool tune there. That's the Joy Tones February 65 release on Coed Records. Lynn Middleton on lead. This is Love, parentheses, that I'm giving you. That's what Johnny's giving you, my 45s, here every Wednesday night right here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. We're here till midnight. We'll do a little bit of overtime here. Now, this next singer, he opened the door for thousands and thousands of preteen singers, not to mention the great harmony he had with his group called the Teenagers, but under the tutelage of Richard Barrett and George Gollner. I'm talking about Frankie Lyman. But as he became older, his voice changed and the hits stopped. And that could be depressing for sure. Now, in 1964, he was arrested for drug possession. Now, after his release, he enlisted in the Army, and it appeared he kicked the habit, his drug habit, after his discharge. But he found a new manager. His name was Sam Bray, and Sam recorded Frankie, recorded two sides for Frankie, and he would, what did I say here? And he was able to get a session. Well, I should say he recorded two sides for Frankie and was able to get a session with his old label, a session recorded with his old label, Morris Levy and Roulette Records. It was supposed to be held on February 29th of 1968. That's the leap year, right? Yes. But in celebration, Frankie went on a drug binge and the night before, and he would OD from that. I don't know what he was taking, but he was found, dead in, I think maybe his grandmother's bathroom or something. It was an unfortunate end to a great singer, or, at least when he was singing in his heyday. But either way, Sam Bray would put the two sides that he recorded out on his label. It was called Big Apple Records, and this is from 1968, was released in 68. This is the last Frankie Lyman single, and they spell the name different, the last name. Lyman is how he put it. It's on Big Apple Records, and the name of the tune is called I'm Sorry.
What else can you do? Yeah. After letting me make a fool out of you, telling you lies that word was true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can feel it tickling to my eye, but now it's too late. Yeah. I wanna sit right down and cry, but now I must wait. Yeah. Until you go away with the other boy, I don't have to say it, fill your life with joy, and he won't treat you like you're a toy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have had many loves. I promised them the moon and stars above, but they found out I was untrue, and they left me high and dry and feeling blue. Oh, so blue. Oh, you tried to do was give me love, but I gave you pain, yeah. I swear to you, my little turtle dove, my heart's filled with shame, yeah. Just before you leave, I'd really like to say I could never love another like I do this way, and I love you the rest of my days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Hey, hey, come on, little mama, I'm sorry. Hey, hey, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Hey, hey, pretty baby, I'm so sorry. All right, yeah, I'm sorry.
As the very last single for Frankie Lyman, spelled L-Y-M-A-N, 1968 release on the Big Apple record label. I'm Sorry is the name of the tune, and we are sorry that that was a terrible ending for Frankie Lyman. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. For this gal, she was born in Hollandale, no. Is it Hollandale? How does that? Charlene, did I do that right? Hollandle. I don't know how to say that. Mississippi. Johnny G is COVID brain fog here tonight. But she was born in Mississippi, but she moved to Chicago. Her name was Ruby Stackhouse, and she first recorded for the Kelman label back in 1965 under her real name. Then in 1967, she signed with Ricardo Williams' Zodiac label out of Stokey, Illinois, and recorded under the alias Ruby Andrews. Now, she would have 14 releases on the Zodiac record label. Let's give a listen to her third, which would become her biggest hit, a tune written by Joe Armstead and Milton Middleton. This charted number 52 on Cashbox, 51 on Billboard, number 9 on the Billboard R&B, and a big number 1 record on WBBE in Chicago, Illinois. Go to June of 1967 for Ruby Andrews on the Zodiac record label. I know we have a lot of Casanovas in the YouTube chat room. This is Ruby Andrews with Casanova. Your playing days are over. That's Ruby Andrews there. Ruby Andrews from June 67. It's on the Zodiac record label. Zodiac Records, Casanova, parentheses, Your Playing Days Are Over is the name of the tune there. That was a hit for her, her biggest hit, I should say. And we continue here on the All 60s edition. And up next, a singer from San Francisco, California. He was a member of the 1950s vocal group The Romancers, recorded on the Duto record label, but he embarked on a very successful solo career in 1958 with hits like Do You Want to Dance and Betty Lou's Got a New Pair of Shoes. But he recorded for a number of different labels during his career. Those two and more were on the Josie record label, but he also recorded for King. And for this label that I'm spinning here, Autumn Records, he had 5 releases on the Autumn record label. This was his first. This tune originally recorded by Jackie Lee on the Mirwood record label, but this version charted regionally, number 16 on WIRL in Peoria, Illinois. Let's give a listen to Bobby Freeman. Bobby Freeman from November 65, his 5th release on the Autumn label, his rendition of the tune The Duck. Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Bobby Freeman. Bobby Freeman. I know Tony Crosby likes to do the duck. You do. You got to show us how to do that, Tony. You got to do a video and post it on YouTube. That one there, November 1965, Bobby Freeman on the Autumn label, his 5th release, song entitled The Duck. Let's continue here. Let's go back to the Motor City, back to Berry Gordy Jr.'s Gordy label. And after the... I didn't write down what number these were. After Martha and the Vandellas had a hit with Nowhere to Run, their follow-up to that record was a song called You've Been in Love Too Long. That was the A-side. But my aunt went out to buy this record in the summer of 1965, not for that side. She bought it for the flip side side of the 45, and which actually charted on Billboard. It was number 70 on Billboard. It came out in July of 1965 for Martha and the Vandellas. Martha and the Vandellas, Martha Reeves on lead. It's a great B-side on the Gordy label. It's called Love, parentheses, Makes Me Do Foolish Things.
Love, love, love makes me do foolish things. Sit alone by the phone, a phone that never rings, hoping to hear you say you love me still, knowing you never will. Love, love, love has made a fool of me, got me doing things that shouldn't be, listening for the sound of your knock on my door, knowing that sweet sound will be no more. Funny how precious memories linger on so long after you've gone. No, precious memories that only make me cry, but I keep holding on. Oh, why do I? All because love, love, love makes me do these things. Speak your name softly each night, or holding your picture tight. When you took my heart, you took my soul, and it's far beyond control. Funny how precious memories linger on so long after you've gone. Oh, precious memories that only make me cry, but I keep holding on. Oh, why do I? All because love, love, love makes me do these things. Love, 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 sadness it brings. Love.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Martha and the Vandellas. Martha Reeves on lead. That's the flip side to You've Been in Love Too Long, song entitled Love Makes Me Do Foolish Things. Great tune there. We'll send that one out to Sabrina. She likes that tune there in the YouTube chat room. July 65 release on the Gordy label. We'll do a little bit of overtime here, as we always do. This next singer, he hails from Atlanta, Georgia. He has a few releases on labels like Chant and Lawton and this label. I think this is Burt Burns' Shout record label. And this is the plug side of the 45. It's a song he wrote. His name is Randolph Walker. Randolph Walker from March 69 on Shout Records. It's called I Love Her More.
More than you know, yeah, more
His name is Randolph Walker. Randolph Walker from March 69. It sounded a little bit like Love Power there, a little bit. Kind of, but I don't know. Randolph Walker there on the Shout record label. I love her more. Yes, I do. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. If you're new to the program, please subscribe. Tell your fellow friends to tune into the program. I'll be back next Wednesday night. I'll be back Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like vocal group harmony, that's our all request show. So tune in for that. Lots of rare stuff and lots of cool tunes. I play the music chronologically there. We try to be as exact as possible, but sometimes we may be a month or two off. I try not to be a year off. That's too far to be off. We just want to be a little bit close. Of course, a lot of these records, they were played in different parts of the United States at different times. But then we'll be back on Monday with the countdown, the 1958 Relic Rack Survey, counting down 1958. I forget what number we left off on, but we'll be doing that on Monday afternoon. That's a 1 o'clock start, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So I know all you listeners out in the West Coast, you have to get up a little bit early. If you're up, you might be working, so you can listen to it on the archive. Let's continue with a little bit more here. We go to the Columbia label for this release, a tune written by Ray Fleming. He also produced it with Lockie Edwards, as both of them wrote and produced a number of hit records during their career. Now, this group has some connection to a group called the Del Capris that recorded for the Almont label, I think, in 63. Now, Ray composed their songs too, so there's probably some type of connection here. But this is from August of 64. It's a female lead. This is Beverly and the Del Capris from August 64 on Columbia Records. It's called Mama, I Think I'm in Love. August 64 release there for Beverly and the Del Capris on the Columbia record label. Mama, I Think I'm in Love is the name of the tune. Johnny G's here in overtime, and we continue here. Here's a flip side from last week. I featured this group called The Ideals. They formed at Crane High School in Chicago. First recording for the Paso label in 1961. Also recorded for Cortland Records in 63, but they had 3 on on the St. Lawrence label. They were a trio consisting of Leonard Mitchell, Reggie Jackson, and Sam Stewart. Now, I played the A-side of their second release, a song entitled Kissing. Let's flip it over here from February of 1966. These are the Ideals on the Satellite label. How many people out there have dreams? Do you have any nightmares? Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night? Well, it relates to this song. These are the Ideals with a B-side. It's called I Had a Dream from February 1966. February 66 release there for the Ideals. Ideals on the Satellite record label. I bought that from Joel Scherzer for $1.07. Back then, in those early days in the mid-1980s, they would send their lists out. You send your bids in, and I was bidding like $1.22, $3.77, all these weird bids when I first started collecting, and I won that out of his collection when he was selling out. I Had a Dream is the name of the tune, their third release on the Satellite label. Let's continue here in overtime, and this gal, born Jacqueline Mary Baldane. She was originally from, is it Eudora? Is it how you say it? Eudora, Arkansas. But she grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana. In 1954, she moved to San Francisco, California. And in 1960, she married saxophonist Big J. McNeely, where they performed together until 1965 when she recorded her first single, which I don't have, on the Philectron label. I think it's a big Northern Soul record. Philectron label in 1966. But she signed with Modern Records for 3 releases. Let's give a listen to her first from August 66. Her name is Jackie Day. Jackie Day on the Modern label. It's called Before It's Too Late. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and Jack likes the sound of mono 45's. Don't originals sound so good, folks? Yeah, do. Jackie Day there, her first of 3 on the Modern label from August 66. Before It's Too Late. Start your record collecting now. Things are actually cheaper now. You can find pretty good buys if you start right now. Hey, pretty soon my collection will be available. You never know who wants first pick. Come on over. You can check the stuff out as we continue here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. For this next group, they hail from Jersey City, New Jersey, started recording back in 1962 with releases on the Piney label, but in 64 they signed with Joe Evans' Carnival label, had 14 releases on the Carnival label. Let's give a listen to their third, written by group member Winfred Lovett. This was number 12 on the Billboard R&B chart, a big number 2 record on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland. It features George Smith on lead. We go to November of 1964 for the Manhattans. The Manhattans on the Carnival label. The name of their tune is called I Wanna Be Your DJ. No, I Wanna Be, parentheses, Your Everything.
I
my girl. I wanna be your everything. Just be my girl. I wanna be your diamonds and pearls. All you have to do, baby, is be my girl. I wanna hug and kiss you every night. Please be my girlfriend, and everything is alright. Baby, it's all. Be my little girl, and everything is gonna be alright. Oh, baby, it's all. I wanna be your everything. Oh, it's alright. Little sugar, it's all. Wow, come on now, it's alright. Be my little girl, and everything is gonna be alright.
November 1964 there for the Manhattans. The Manhattans on the Carnival record label, Joe Evans Carnival Records. What I say, that's their third release on Carnival. A song entitled I Wanna Be Your Everything. And I like the flip side of this record too. The first time I found it out in the wild for 10 cents. Really couldn't go wrong with paying 10 cents for this record. Put the needle on here. Whoops. It's a styrene copy. The name of the B-side here is called What's It Gonna Be? It's an instant request by your host, Johnny G, the Manhattans.
Will you love me to the end of time? Now, honey, hey, hey, yeah. Will you love me till eternity? Now, baby, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Will you love me like you did before? I can't live in misery anymore. What's it gonna be? Come on, come on, come on now, baby. Will you tell me what you're doing now? Now, honey, hey, hey. Will you keep your sacred vow? Now, baby, hey, yeah, hey, hey. I'm so jealous and I'm so blue. Won't you please say you love me too? Will you stick with me? Come on now. 1, 2 years from now, will you make your sacred vow? 8, 9, will you be mine? What's it gonna be? Will you stick with me? Come on, come on, come on now, baby. Will that gleam stay in your eyes? Now, honey, hey, hey, yeah. Will it shine for another guy? Now, baby, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. He don't love you, he don't break your heart. He just wants to see us from far. What's it gonna be? Come on, come on, come on now, baby. Oh, pretty baby. Tell me, baby. Tell me, little 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 baby.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We're going to send that one out to Darren in our YouTube chat room. He's digging on that cool tune. That's the B-side to the Manhattan's third release On the Carnival record label, I Want to Be Your Everything is the A-side. What's It Gonna Be is the B-side as we wind down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And let's go to Morris Levy's Roulette record label for this gal. Her name is Brenda Jo Harris. This is the B-side to her debut single, tune written by Ronnie Savoy and Rosemarie McCoy for Swann Productions. Now, where is it hurricane season yet? Anywhere down in Florida? When does hurricane season really start? Because maybe it's now. I don't know if it's now, but it relates to the weather, this song. Anyway, it's from September 68. It's on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. Let's give a listen to Brenda Jo Harris. Brenda Jo Harris and her tune called Your Love is Like a Hurricane.
It's finally happening to me. It really moves me. You're like the hurricane. You're like the hurricane. This morning, just like always, I woke up with you on my mind. Burnt my toast, spilled my coffee. Oh, I never got to work on time. Couldn't stand to come home lonely and sad, so I stopped downtown to shop around. Yeah. Started raining, was I glad, 'cause they couldn't see my tears that fell down. Your love is like a hurricane, ripping the soul apart. Your love is like a hurricane, tearing out my heart. Knocks me down, twists me around, sometimes it lifts me up off the ground. Sometimes I feel the sunrise inside of me. Just for a moment, I think your love is gonna let me be. Then out of the clear blue sky, lightning strikes, and it all begins. Yeah, I get a chill, and I know the storm has started all over again. Your love is like a hurricane, ripping the soul apart. Your love is like a hurricane, tearing out my heart. Knocks me down, twists me around, sometimes it lifts me up off the ground. Your love is like a hurricane, tearing out my heart.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Brenda Jo Harris from September 1968 on the Roulette Records. Your Love is Like a Hurricane. Yes, it is. 2 more 45s to go. JohnnyG's got to get out of here. I have lunch with my high school friend tomorrow. I'm going to be meeting at the El Dorado Diner. We'll be doing that. Haven't seen him in a while. Let's go to this singer from Blytheville, Arkansas. Began singing in a vocal group called the Cool Gents in the 1950s. Have a couple of 45s on Vivian Carter's VJ label that I really like. I've featured on my Saturday night program. But in 1958, he went solo, had a string of hits on the Falcon and Abner labels, and his also on VJ Records. I think his biggest hit was a song called Raindrops from 1961 on VJ. He signed with Constellation Records in 65, I think. This is his ninth release, his ninth and final release on the Constellation label from August of 66. Let's give a listen to D. Clark. D. Clark on Constellation Records. It's called Old Fashioned Love. D. Clark.
Oh, give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Oh, it's good enough for me. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Ooh, it's good enough for me. We used to play cowboy way across the rail. I would be Roy, you would be there. We used to play jungle way out in the lane. I would be Tarzan and you would be Jane. It's plain to see it was good for you. Oh, it's good enough for me. So just give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Oh, it's good enough for me. We used to get water way up on the hill. I would be Jack, you would be Jill. We used to go fishing way down by the hole. You'd bring the bait and I'd bring the pole. It's plain to see it was good for you. Oh, and it's good enough for me. So just give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Ooh, it's good enough for me. I said, give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Ooh, it's good enough for me. Come on, give me that old fashioned love. Everybody, give me that old fashioned love. Baby, give me that old fashioned love. Ooh, it's good enough for me. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love. Give me that old fashioned love.
That's the ninth release on Constellation Records from Mr. D. Clark. That one there from August of 1966. It's actually spelled OLEFASHUN, love. Old-fashioned love. Well, that's going to do it for old Johnny G. That's going to do it for the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@AOL.com. If you have your requests, if you have I've received a lot of emails. Lenny, I didn't get a chance to read your emails. I did not, but send them to me at vinyltreasures@AOL.com. So many great nice compliments on the show there. Thank you all. Take your requests there for all three shows. Well, not taking requests on the Monday night show, but anyway. And if you missed any of the program, it'll be up momentarily on YouTube. They usually post it right away after I sign off. It's there for the playback. The chat won't be there, though. It's probably going to take them a day or two, sometimes a little less, to post the chat depending on how long the show is. But you can always go to vinyltreasures.net to download the show there. You can do that. And again, well, we just have a lot of fun here on the Wednesday night show. And we want to have fun on all the shows here. So I hope you'll join me next time. It'll be Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to midnight, usually on for an hour more. But cool requests for you. You send them to me at Vinyl Treasures. If I have the 45, I'll play it. Some of them I have on 78. That's going to be a special 78 show that I'll be doing. I don't know when. Maybe I'm accumulating the 78. Charlene is doing that for me, so we'll see. My 78s are not, I wouldn't say they're filed properly. That's the problem. The 60s are getting filed properly, so now it's getting easier for me to find lots of the 60s requests, so I'll continue to do that. I'm still looking for stuff for Paul, and even for, well, I don't know. I think, Tony, you gave me all yours. But to Adrian, I'm still looking for a couple for you. So, plus you can send me more than that. I don't get a lot of requests for the 60s show. But anyway, thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Couldn't do without Charlene, my administrative assistant. And again, for you, the listeners here, making this a fun night. That's what it's supposed to be. It's really the only time I get to enjoy my 45s is when I play them, when I pull them out. You know, it's a lot of work to pull the 45s out. You can ask my buddy Dave the Raven chat. He has the same thing that he does, and filing them back. We're always talking about we got to file the records back. Who has time? And then again, you know, I'm taking care of my elderly parents here. I do a lot of the heavy lifting for them, and then all the other personal stuff I have to do. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. It always has been. So I'll see you next time here on the program. We're going to close tonight. I like both sides of this 45 here. We're going to close with this tune produced by Robert Bateman, who engineered all those early Motown tracks for Berry Gordy Jr., but he moved over to produce for Capitol Records, and this is a fine example of what he can do. This should have been a hit, probably. This tune co-written by Robert Bateman, arranged and conducted by Sammy Lowe. I tell you, collectors out there, if you're looking through a box of 45, Sammy Lowe is one of the records in Antico Wilshire. Pull those 45s out of the box. That's always a good start for any of you young collectors into this music. But our closer tonight is by Jill Harris from June 64 on the Capitol label. It's called Oh Baby. That's it for Johnny G. Thank you all again for tuning in. Have a safe remainder of the week. I'll see you here on Saturday night. If not, I'll see you Monday for the 1958 countdown. That begins at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, usually on for 2 hours. Maybe a half-hour OT possibly. But again, we'll be back here next Wednesday night for more Soul 45s out of my collection. Just want to say, everybody, so long.